Hey guys, and welcome to another Q&A with me, Steve Jordan from Jordan Guitars, where we answer all of your questions. Thank you very much for the feedback on our first video. This is our second video. Really appreciated all the love. I hope some of you found it useful when we talked about the UK guitar market. So for this video, I'm going to answer another question which we got asked again this week by a customer of ours called Rob, but I've been asked many times from our customers, and it's specifically with regards to customers who have got kids and they want to encourage their kids to start learning to play guitar. And I often get asked if I've got any advice. Well, I have some thoughts, as always, based on my own experience. I've got three kids. One's 21. She was never interested in playing guitar, so I didn't bother. But I've got a 12 and a 14-year-old who both play. So I have a bit of experience of kit and advice, which hopefully, particularly for any of you who are looking to invest in instruments or something for your kids for Christmas, it might be of use. I'm going to try and keep this quite short, maybe 5 minutes or so. I've got to run to a gig in Cambridge, so I can't be too long, but hopefully it helps. So, kicking off, rule number one, try to buy the best instrument that you can buy them. Learning to play guitar is hard. It's not easy. A lot of people fall off at the beginning, and you want to make the chance of your child sticking with guitar and enjoying it as easy as it possibly can be. And the main way you can do that is just get them a decent instrument. Now, I'm very conscious that not everybody wants to drop down hundreds and hundreds of pounds on a high-risk purchase like a guitar for their 7-year-old kid who may not stick with it, and I totally get that. Recommend buying used, you'll get more for your money, but I do think you get what you pay for. So you can buy an acoustic or an electric guitar on Amazon, or certainly an acoustic for like 50 quid. My experience of guitars like that, unbranded, kind of no-name guitars, are, in my experience, pretty much unplayable. Some of the guitars I've seen like that have been absolutely, I mean, Hendrix couldn't play them. So the actions are super high, the build quality is terrible. So I do think if you can reach out and push up to get a branded instrument, you're going to be in with a better shot of actually having something that's a workable instrument rather than a novelty toy. When my kids were kind of 7 or 8, I thought, okay, I'm going to get them a half-size guitar, and I thought at that kind of age, maybe go for something nylon strung. And I bought this. This is like a Yamaha CG S1028. I think they still do this model. I think it's about £120 new. And I thought this guitar was fantastic. We had to do pretty much nothing on it to make it workable. It was well made, as you'd expect from Yamaha. I think we picked this up for second-hand for about 60, 70 pounds, so probably the same amount as a new no-name would be on Amazon or there and thereabouts. But you're getting a quality instrument, and obviously nylon strings, if your child's young, helps them to get into it because it's not too tough on the hands. As they got a bit older and they wanted to make a little bit more noise, we were thinking, okay, 3/4 size. I started by buying a Fender Squire, the pink strap, for my daughter. I think that was about £150. I can't remember the exact price. I thought it was absolutely awful. It just, and admittedly this may not be all of them, but certainly the one that we bought, and we bought it new, was just unplayable. It would not stay in tune. In fact, you couldn't get it in tune. It wasn't intonated, and it couldn't be intonated. So when you played a chord, it sounded out of tune. There was no way the best guitarist in the world couldn't have sounded good on that guitar, let alone a child who is learning and I've been playing for a few months. So that's not great. I immediately sold it because there was no way that was going to be playable. And we bought an Ibanez Micro Geo. This was much better. This was actually a playable guitar. I think this was definitely more expensive. I think we paid like £170 for it or something. So it was a reach up from the £100 or so on the Squire, but it was a much better instrument for the money. This was not bad because it did stay relatively in tune. It could be intonated, so it was a workable instrument. And the build quality was okay, but the edges of the frets are super sharp. Like if you ran your finger down, then you would cut yourself. So just be aware of that. You might want to fold the frets down if you went for this guitar. Again, this is just the one we've got. I'm not saying that all of them are like that, but certainly the one we've got. But it was a decent guitar. But my recommendation to you, moving on, is one of these. And we bought this about a year or so ago when they first came out, maybe 2 years ago. Epiphone Player Plus. They do this in a Les Paul and an SG. It's more expensive. I think they're about £200, something around that. But they're actually good. They're actually a really good, serviceable, great instrument to learn on. They're well put together. It holds tune. The pickups sound really good. I drive this through my valve amp and you can rock on it. It sounds great. So yeah, of all this, I have actually updated to locking tuners on this, but that's just for personal preference. But the guitar, as it comes from Epiphone, best of all of the beginner kind of 3/4 small guitars that I have ever played. So recommendation. I'm not sponsored by Epiphone or anybody else I talk about in this video. It's just my opinion again. But for me, if you can stretch to it, I mean, hopefully you can pick one of these up used for, I don't know, £150 now, whatever it is. Way better guitar, way more chance of your child enjoying playing guitar because it will stay in tune and it won't cut their fingers off when they play it. And yeah, I was just really impressed with it. I think they're a really good guitar. So my advice on that is go for the best guitar that you can possibly go for. One slight bonus before I finish this video. We've tried a couple of the apps to help them to learn. We did do private lessons for a bit, but then we looked at some of the apps to see if that would kind of supplement it. We did Simply Guitar. Thought that was really poor. Didn't stay with that. But then we used Musician. So YOUSICIAN, like musician with a Y in front of it. Really impressed. It's like they've kind of like you learn on it, you play it, you kind of it's almost like gamified it in the way that the interface works. It's a bit like Guitar Hero, but actually playing guitar. And unlike when you're learning watching a video on YouTube where you watch someone play it and then you play along, but you don't get that feedback to understand how you've actually performed. Musician is listening to you and gives you kind of ratings at the end and says, okay, when you played that song, the verse was great, but the chorus wasn't great. So you go and play that again and we'll slow it down for you and you can practice that bit. And it's really good. And if you buy, I think that there's like a premium version of it where you get like licensed music, so you can play everything from Billie Eilish to Metallica, depending on what your child likes, or adults as well. I mean, I thought Musician was really fun. Yeah, just really, really impressed with it. I think they often do like I think there's like a free like introductory trial period so you can give it a go. But even so, it's really, really inexpensive for like an annual pass on it, and certainly a lot cheaper than buying kind of private lessons. So really recommend Musician, really recommend the Epiphone Player Plus. If you're looking for an instrument for your children, I thoroughly recommend that. And also, if you're learning as an adult, obviously you won't need a 3/4 size guitar, but just go for the best guitar you can get. Recommend things like the Player Series by Fender. They're a great Telecasters and Strats, really, really good to play and to kick off with before you start to get the bug and the addiction and start to trade up to the more expensive stuff, which will inevitably happen because you'll become addicted like all of us. But yeah, anyway, hope this information has been useful. If you have any more questions or feedback, please let me know. Always happy to listen and looking for questions for the next video. So stay cool, have a great Saturday, and we'll speak to you soon.